All right, here we go. Welcome to, I guess this is like episode 4 of the live, but we're kind of on a different channel now. So here we are, right? Ronnie Obenhaus coming at you live. If you are here live with me, welcome. If you are watching this on replay, well then welcome to you on replay. It is St. Patty's Day, or I guess, we're celebrating St. Patty's Day. So I wore a green shirt. As you can tell, with the green screen. You cannot see the shirt that I am wearing. I apologize for the dog in the background if you can hear it. She is talking with dogs that are barking around the neighborhood. So we are going to be talking about Superman and Lois, episode 4. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Flash episode 3, and then kind of the elephant in the room, which is the Snyder Cut that drops in approximately 6.5 hours, which I am excited for because it's a 4-hour runtime. So, woohoo! Okay, so let's go ahead and get into Superman and Lois episode 4. This one to me really encapsulated some of the best storytelling so far, especially with Superman having to make a choice between doing, his Superman stuff and actually being Superman, right? So he's got to make a choice between being Superman and being dad, right? And husband. So this was some of the best storytelling that they've done so far, especially the whole General Lane coming in and kind of doing the holier than thou stuff, saying, hey, you need to be here. This is national security. And Lois actually getting involved, saying, hey, he's choosing to be with his family. He's choosing to be a father, something you've never done. So right there, that was a big moment. We kind of all saw it coming because they kind of needed a way. General Lane was already pushing to want to do that Project 7734, see you in hell, General, the whole Lex Luthor Easter egg thing. So I'm just wondering how that's going to play out over the course of, we know we got a second season. So over the course of the rest of this season. Now remember, last week on the other channel, but last week we talked about Superman and Lois is going on hiatus. So they've got one more episode, and then they are done till May. Supergirl will actually start when episode 6 should air. So we're looking at 2 weeks from yesterday is when Supergirl will air in what I believe is going to be its final season. It will run all the way to close to the end of May, and then Superman and Lois will come back, air out the rest of its episodes, which I think it's a 15-episode season, so we're looking at about 10 weeks, and then Supergirl will finish. And then Superman and Lois, obviously greenlit for a second season, whereas Supergirl, I believe, is done after this one. Talking about different seasons, we got Flash. It's been renewed for another season, even though this season's really been taking all. I like the Flash. I'm just gonna say that right now. I really like the show. Even on some of the seasons that are just like really sad, and you're just kind of like, man, bring back like that happy, fun, charismatic cast that you had in the first couple of seasons. That's what I want back. So I keep watching, hoping that they'll bring that back. But you get glimpses of it, and last week we were worried about what we were going to do with Tom Cavanaugh, with Nash Wells leaving. But then, the end of last week's episode, we saw Harrison Wells come back with this green particle stuff. Well, now we learn that there's some kind of weird crisis thing that there needed to be a Harrison Wells. So now, evidently, he's a time traveler as well. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But he said he's going to go and live 4 years that he had with his wife over and over and over, each of those times, right? we can obviously see him coming back, over at least this season. But it feels like these well, it doesn't feel like it. We know that these last 3 episodes have been wrapping up storylines that were happening from last season. And I don't know, it just kind of, it felt like they were wrapping it up, right? They weren't really getting into any new stuff. It was just wrapping up. And now they've done it, and I believe next episode is when we're going to kind of have it wrapped up and unofficially start this season. So you can kind of look at the last 3 episodes as finishing out last season. And now here we go. We've got this season coming in. With Superman and Lois, transitioning over to that, it wasn't a very good transition. But you know what? We're going to do it. With Superman and Lois, I feel like they're hitting the ground running, right? I mean, first episode, boom. Second episode, boom. Third episode, boom. We come in with this fourth episode, boom. I mean, they're just they're firing on all cylinders, right? Bam, we got 5th episode next week, and it's supposed to be a good one as well. And then all of a sudden, boom, hiatus. We talked last week about, does it have enough momentum to really go on hiatus? Like, does it deserve to go on hiatus? And from what they've shown us, I think it does. Now, the fear I have is, did they do all of this, like pack in all this story and tell us this really good stuff and get us hooked just to slow play when it comes back because they knew they were going to go on hiatus? Well, I don't know the answer to that question. I hope that they didn't, right? I hope that everything is going to work out well. But, who knows, right? I think that if I'm being honest, from my heart, right? From my heart, I think that they are going to tell really good stories. I think if anything is going to happen, we're going to see how good those stories are. And in the second season, we're probably going to lose some of those writers because the stories are going to be really good and people are going to realize that they're talented and they're going to be called away to different shows. Whether it's, shows that aren't with the CW or whether it's with shows with the CW. I could see some of those, some of the writers leaving to kind of reinvigorate Flash because, I mean, if we're being honest, Flash is kind of slowing down. Ironic, right? Fastest man alive, and he's slowing down. But Superman and Lois is really taking off. And they succeed with telling the same kind of grounded stories. And I think with Flash, if you could take him more towards what he does in the comics, as far as having kind of a better relationship with his villains know that he's not going to like beat him up and all this stuff. It's more like friendly banter. In the comics. I mean, yeah, they're trying to, rob bank stuff, but they're not like killing people and stuff like that. It's this, it's this playful relationship that they have. And I kind of wish that they had more of that instead of just everything is such high stakes. In the beginning, I felt like it wasn't like that. So it's just a really fun, easygoing show. But now everything's life or death. Speed Force is dying, people are leaving the team. It's just, man, it's like, come on, just lighten up a little bit, right? But I digress. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. I believe it is called Haywire. Let's see. I'm pretty sure it's called Haywire. Let's see. Superman and Lois, episode 5, because that's next week. Episode 5 promo, The Best of Smallville. Whoa, The Best of Smallville, huh? Well, we're not going to watch it on here. I don't want them to ding me, but... here we go. Let's see. They might have a written description of it. Always hold on to Smallville. Clark tries to convince Jonathan to get... Oh, that's right, because... Okay, so one of the big things here is that Jonathan and Jordan have kind of switched places now. Jordan is the one who plays football, and Jonathan's not really playing. Clark is actually an assistant coach for the team now. So he's really pushing Jordan into the team, while Jonathan, he was always the best and brightest. I mean, he was the starting QB in Metropolis. Now he comes to Smallville, and he's riding the bench. So I don't know. I really think that's going to be the dynamic because, again, teenagers, it's real easy to tell that story because they're prone to a lot of emotion. They're prone to a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? They're prone to a lot of emotion. They're prone to a lot of illogical actions at times. So really easy to tell the story here because of that, right? Anyone who has teenagers or who has had teenagers, and I apologize if you will have teenagers, you'll know that you get a lot of irrationality at times. There's irrational decisions being made all of the time. Every problem is a ginormous problem. I used to think of it like this. Well, I still think of it like this, but it gets difficult sometimes. Like, let's say you go outside and have a bad hair day, right? That problem is a 10. Let's just say it's worth 10 points. When you get up to our age, you've gained so much experience that you're rocking with, 2 million points. So a bad hair day is 10 points, and so you're like, dude, that's nothing, right? It's nothing compared to all the other stuff I've been through. But a teenager hasn't been through a lot of life, so they're rocking maybe 100 points. And so a bad hair day, it's still worth 10 points, but they've only got 100 points. So that's 10% of their life is that bad hair day. So it's huge. So I try to cut them a little slack. It's very difficult at times, but all we can do is try, right? So I believe that's what Clark is going to attempt to do, is try, because in fairness, he has asked the boys to move from their life that they've known for 14 years and poof, moving to a very small town that Jordan loves. Jordan loves it there. Jonathan, not so much, right? It's easy to see why. Jordan wasn't doing well in Metropolis. Jonathan was thriving. So now we come to Smallville, and now Jordan is thriving, and Jonathan is struggling. I think what Clark and Lois are kind of hoping for is that since he's, I think what they're kind of hoping for is that he's a little bit more adjusted mentally, and maybe a little bit more emotionally mature, and so he's able to weather that change, right? At least that's what I think they're going to play out. Episode 5, it's obviously going to end on some kind of big cliffhanger. What that cliffhanger is, I'm not sure. We found out at last night's episode, the big cliffhanger was that General Lane is starting this program that we learn in the future Lex Luthor is a part of. And Morgan Edge found what he calls X-Kryptonite, which is giving kids powers. So it's kind of reminiscent of the show Smallville, what Kryptonite did, where, what they called meteor rock, right? The meteor rock gives some people powers, and it hurts Clark, right? So in this one, X-Kryptonite it looks like it's giving people powers. In fact, it could be exactly what's giving Jordan powers. We're not sure, but not sure yet how it's going to affect Superman, Clark. So that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see that kind of play out. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to is that dynamic of the eventuality when he stops. I'm talking Superman, when he just straight up says, I'm not going to help because I have to be here with the family. So far, the family hasn't asked him to make that choice. Now, Lois did get upset that he wasn't there, but he was trying to fight Kilgrave at the time. If you're unfamiliar with Kilgrave, he's kind of, his MO is like he's a mad scientist that makes high-tech toys. And by toys, I mean like weapons that usually sell to the highest bidder. He was he was in the process of being transported in prison, and Lane had asked Superman to kind of be there as like a show of faith because he's left Metropolis, right? And so people wonder, well, is Metropolis going to be safe? Now that he's not there, people might try to come in and make some riot, make some noise, right? So, yeah, I wonder if they're ever going to play that thing of, well, I'm just too busy, right? I'm trying to save my family, and I'm sure they'll have some kind of story like that. But it remains to be seen. Now, let's talk Snyder Cut. Man, okay, we're looking at a 4-hour runtime on this, okay? Whew. Justice League was 2 hours. If you haven't seen it yet, I have a Justice League review on my channel right now. In fact, let's see if I can link it to you real quick. Let's just see. All right. Boom. Boom. Here we go. I'm getting you the link. Here we go. We're doing this. Okay. Boom. I'm going to link it to you. Boom. There we go. Now, I wonder if that actually works. Oh, crap. Whoops. Thought I messed something up there for a second. I probably did. Mess something up. I apologize. Okay. So anyway, I've got the Justice League review up on the channel. You can take a look at that. Should have been way more prepared than I am. Hey, it's live, right? That's what happens. Ooh. Okay, so Snyder Cut comes out tomorrow. Technically, it's 12 a.m., midnight, Pacific Standard Time. I am located on the East Coast, so I am Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be 3 a.m. for me, right? 12, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 a.m. for me. I'm contemplating getting up at 3 a.m. and actually watching it, but I doubt that I'll actually do that. Yeah, I doubt that I'll actually do that. I think what I might do instead is probably wake up around 7 a.m. and just kind of have it on in the background until I can really focus on it tomorrow night. And then I'll have a review up of it probably next week sometime. But man, I'm really excited for it. There's a lot of stuff that's supposed to be in it. I'm not really going to go into everything that's supposed to be in it because there's some people that maybe have been staying away and they don't want to know, right? They want to experience it. I've tried to stay away. I watched the first trailer. I've stayed away from all the other trailers because some of them tend to have like a lot of spoilers in them. I've seen some of the Zack Snyder tweets. I've been, again, trying to avoid a lot of them because, well, I want it to be fresh. I want it to be new, right? Because there are 2 hours, at least 2 hours of footage that I've never seen. So that's exciting to me because Justice League was 2 hours long. There's footage in that original movie that was not Zack Snyder's. It was Joss Whedon's, or Warner Brothers had Warner Brothers had forced like reshoots, right? That Zack Snyder may have stripped completely out, and yet he still makes it 4 hours, which means that again, there's probably over 2 hours of footage I have not seen, and that excites me. Man, I am. What a time to be alive. I'm excited, though. I am super excited. Man, are you excited? Because I am. I don't know if you can tell, but man, it's yeah, I'm pumped. I'm there. Another thing on it is going back and talking about Superman and Lois, just real quick. this show kind of hit me out of left field. I expected it to be good. I wanted it to be good, and it is. Right? It's amazing. I love it. I mean, that's really all I can say. It's so great, right? But I'm not going to sit here and just waste time. That's kind of the stuff I wanted to say. There wasn't a whole lot of like stuff to kind of nitpick in this episode. If we're talking about the Flash, he finally, he got the Speed Force back. So he destroyed the Speed Force in the last episode, and he kind of got it back by creating one from love. It was incredibly cheesy, but it's exactly what I expected it to be. So I wasn't really surprised there, but I wanted better, but I got what I expected, if that makes sense. With Superman and Lois, we see that Lois is still gunning to write this article, Morgan Edge. He threatened her, saying, I could find out why you are here. Lois said that she would sue him, keep him in courts for a really long time. So they kind of both threw their threats back and forth. Lois kind of gave hers of bring it, right? But we didn't expect anything different from her. We expected that to happen, which I'm happy that it did. Because that just shows her she's a very strong woman. She knew that there was nothing she could do at the town hall, so she asked Clark to be there. But the good thing about her is, yes, she got mad. She understood why she got mad, and now she's going to find a different way to get it done. And that's what I really like about Lois is she is so hard charging. It's one of her best qualities. It's also probably one of her biggest flaws. We learned that. Remember Superman 2, when Margot Kidder playing Lois Lane, she's trying to get the story of the terrorist bombing, and so she actually gets on the elevator in the Eiffel Tower. So you commend, her just intrepidness. Get it? Intrepid reporter. So you commend her intrepidness, but also it's the thing that gets her in the most trouble. And so, again, her best quality is probably her worst quality. So, there you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoy the live shows, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to talk about anything else, let me know in the comments. I'm always willing to talk about stuff. I know that Falcon and Winter Soldier is hitting this Friday, so I'll probably end up talking about that on Wednesdays as well. I know there's going to be a few more days passing between it, but Saturday nights everybody's going out doing their thing. Well, probably not right now, but vaccinations are starting to roll out, so there's a lot of people getting shots, so there's going to be a lot more semblance of normalcy, right? People going and shopping because you'll be vaccinated, right? So a lot, more people willing to go out and do stuff, understanding that there's way less of a chance for this thing to spread. So I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the movies. We got Black Widow, even though there was some. There was an article that I read today. Let's see if we can pull it up. It was talking about. Let's get rid of that. Black Widow. Release date. So there was something, I know it's May 7th is the release date, but there was something talking about right here it is. Nope, that's from February. Anyway, it was an article that talked about they're going to make kind of a last minute decision on whether or not to release it in May like they wanted to. I think they're probably going to end up doing it. Because at this point, if I'm being completely honest, kind of who cares anymore, right? I understand that there's a lot of people that Black Widow's their favorite character, right? And yeah, that's awesome. Your favorite character can be whoever you want it to be. But, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, she's dead. So this is an obvious prequel. Like, what bearing does it have on the story? If you watched Infinity War and you watched Endgame and then you watched the next Spider-Man movie that came out, Far From Home, you're kind of like, we've moved on. We've moved on from that. Even when it was coming out in May of last year, if it would have come out on time, you're still, it looked like kind of an obvious cash thing because they're like, hey, we need something to throw in there. And so it just was like, eh. So kind of people are like, I mean, will they go see it if it comes out in the theater? Maybe. If stuff gets back to normal, will people go see it? Well, yeah, probably, which is why Marvel's probably thinking about, waiting. Because at that point, I mean, the story probably doesn't matter to the larger scheme of things, but people will want to have gone out to experience a movie. They'll be clamoring for it so much. And since it's a Marvel movie, it'll follow the beats that it follows. And boom, it'll deliver the movie that people expect, right? And, generally it'll probably be entertaining and people will probably enjoy it and will probably make a lot of money, which means that, Marvel will continue making movies like that. So there you go. I love the vast majority of the Marvel movies, but this one I felt like the story doesn't matter. You could have told this story years ago, but you were afraid that, a woman couldn't carry a movie. And now if it doesn't do well, you're going to blame people, oh, the movie didn't do well because people aren't ready for a woman. No, people just didn't want a story that took place years ago. You could have told this same story after the Avengers, kind of given, she could have had this story and then Winter Soldier comes out and we know a little bit more about Black Widow. I mean, there you go, right? I mean, you could have easily done that, but you didn't. So, but I mean, that's what I do, right? I nitpick, am I going to watch it? Well, yeah, definitely, right? Am I going to enjoy it? Yeah, most likely, so, just because I nitpick and just because I complain about it doesn't mean I won't still enjoy it, right? And I'm not trying to convince people not to see it, right? I mean, if you want to watch it, go watch it, right? I mean, there's plenty of movies that I watch that people are like, why did you watch that? It's trash. Yeah, that's fine. That's what you think, right? I mean, how many critics are there out there, right? But generally, people are like, well, I'm going to make my own decision. Well, yeah. But then we also still read critics because we kind of want to know if people agree with our stance, right? So, yeah. There you go. So that's about it. That's no more hand waving from me. Magic. I will leave you with the rest of your night. And thank you for joining me. And I will see you next time. Now I have to do the thing where I pretend like I'm not reaching over to click a mouse and then waving with this hand so it's not awkward. But yeah, so that's it. For real. That's it. See you next Wednesday.